It's Friday the 13th, and I'm T-Roy. Have you ever looked at your life and thought, how did I end up here? Not because you gave up, not because you stopped trying, but because so much changed so fast that now you're standing in a place that feels unfamiliar. A place where relationships shifted, a place where work got shaky, a place where peace feels harder to hold on to, a place where you know God is real, but you're still trying to understand what He's doing. That's why Genesis 1:1 hits different when life feels undone. Because the Bible doesn't start with a perfect looking situation. It starts with God. And that means maybe your story is not falling apart. Maybe God is still at the beginning of something. Genesis 1:1 in the New Living Translation says, "In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth." That verse is simple, but it's powerful. It doesn't begin with the problem. It doesn't begin with confusion. It doesn't begin with darkness. It begins with God. Before the shaping, before the order, before the beauty becomes visible, there is God. That matters because a lot of us look at the current state of our lives and assume that what we see right now is the whole story. But Genesis reminds us that God can be fully present in a chapter that still looks unformed. And that's what I've been sitting with. There are seasons in life where things don't look finished. They look interrupted. They look stripped down. They look emptier than you expected. You can lose stability. You can lose people. You can lose routines. You can lose the version of life you thought was about to happen. And when that happens, it's easy to think that emptiness means God left. But Genesis says otherwise. Because right after that opening verse, Scripture shows us a world that is formless, empty, and covered in darkness. And yet God was still there, moving over it. That speaks to me because there have been moments in my own life where things felt formless, where I had questions and no answers, where I had pain and no timeline, where I had to keep showing up while still carrying disappointment, heartbreak, uncertainty, and the weight of rebuilding. And what Genesis 1:1 reminds me of is this. Just because my life does not look complete does not mean God is absent. Just because things feel unfinished does not mean they are ruined. Just because I don't see the full picture does not mean God stopped creating. Some of us have been judging the whole story based on a chapter that still looks like raw material. But raw material is still something God can work with. So here's the shift. Maybe this season is not just about what ended. Maybe it's about what God is beginning. That changes the question. Instead of asking, why is everything so broken? Maybe the real question is, what is God building here? What is He building in my character? What is He building in my dependence on Him? What is He building in my discernment? What is He building in my peace? What is He building in me now that so many other things have been shaken? Because God does not need a perfect setup to do meaningful work. He creates from places that look empty. He speaks into places that look dark. He brings order to places that feel chaotic. So maybe what looks like a setback is really the ground floor. Maybe what feels like loss is also the clearing of space. Maybe what feels like the end of one thing is the beginning of something deeper, stronger, and more anchored in Him. So here's what I want to tell you, and honestly, what I need to remember too. You are not disqualified because your life feels messy. You are not forgotten because things feel slow. You are not abandoned because the picture is incomplete. God has always known how to work with beginnings. And beginnings do not always look exciting. Sometimes they look lonely. Sometimes they look quiet. Sometimes they look like prayer without immediate answers. Sometimes they look like waking up and choosing faith one more day. But don't underestimate what God can do in a season that still looks unfinished. He's not intimidated by your uncertainty. He's not confused by your pain. He is not limited by what was lost. He is still God at the beginning, and He is still God here. So today, don't let the unfinished parts of your life make you forget who started the story. Genesis 1:1 reminds us that before there was order, there was God. Before there was clarity, there was God. Before there was beauty, you could recognize there was God. And that means even here in this chapter, in this rebuilding, in this in-between place, God is still present and God is still creating. So take a breath, stay grounded, keep walking, and remember, what feels empty to you may still be the very place where God is about to make something new. If this encourages you, even just a little bit, go ahead and hit like, subscribe to the channel, or share this with someone who needs strength today. And listen, don't try to walk this thing alone. Pull up to church this week, text somebody in the group chat, sit in a room where God is being lifted up. Your faith grows different when you're not isolated. And hey, real talk, if you're in a dark place right now, like really going through it, you don't have to carry that by yourself. Call or text 988. That's the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. It's free, it's 24/7. There's a real person who will listen, no judgment, just support. One day at a time. You matter. All right, see you tomorrow. Peace.